Welcome to the channel. I am that streamer dude, and today I'm going to show you how to combine two streamers into one stream the easiest and most reliable way. If you're a little bit confused, let me tell you what I'm talking about. When I started my Twitch channel, it actually started off as a dual stream channel. And when I say dual stream channel, what I mean is me and a buddy of mine from 30 miles apart were able to combine both of our face cams and our gameplays into one stream so that we can switch between different gameplays. We can switch between different scenes that either one of us had control over. And this has been a really highly requested video. That's not what my stream is anymore. My buddy had to end up quit streaming. There was just different things going on in his life. But I get questions all the time about how we used to do that. And I think that it's something that more people would be interested in doing with their friends or whatever if they knew really how to do it. So my goal is to have you leave this video knowing exactly how to set up that kind of stream. Speaking of streams, if you want to catch my stream, I stream over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Cobras. You can find that link in the description below. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 p.m. Central Standard Time to like 2 a.m. usually later on Fridays. So I would love to see you guys come by and say hi. Also, if you're interested in all things content creation, whether it's streaming, whether it's making videos, whatever it may be, that's what this channel is about. Consider giving me a sub. So let's cover a couple of reasons real quick why you may want to do the whole dual stream thing. One of the things that I loved about dual streaming with my buddy is that I felt like, number one, it kept the energy high. There was always someone there to engage. So sometimes when you're streaming, you notice that you may have lulls or you may have downtime. Like, it definitely helps to eradicate that because you've got two people and you've got twice the engagement, twice the energy. And really for us, and this may be a scenario that you're in, you're streaming with maybe the same person all the time, and you feel like your channels are kind of stagnant or whatever. We just combined our audiences, you know, because we had a lot of the same people that were watching us that maybe were multi-twitching or had different windows open. And so it just made sense to combine our audience that way that we're reaching these goals faster and we're reaching more people eventually as you reach those goals. And so I think that really, for the beginning of my channel, I think that was a really great thing to do, and I don't regret a moment of it. Enough of that though. Who am I to say what your reasons are for wanting to dual stream? The fact is, you're on this video and you want to dual stream. Let me tell you how we did it, because it's been requested to me to make a video about that. But the way that we did it was actually really complicated and now is kind of under a pay gate. So we used a site called Restream, and at the time Restream was just making this feature available where it's called an RTMP pool. This may still be something that you're interested in, and I can recommend Restream for this, but you will have to pay a monthly fee to get access to this feature. But essentially what an RTMP pool is it gives you the ability to stream your OBS Studio. In our case, it was my buddy's OBS Studio directly into my OBS Studio. So essentially you would create a media source that pulled in this RTMP link that he was streaming to, and then it showed up as a media source on my version of OBS that I then sent out to Twitch, and that's what everybody saw. There are some downsides with that. Number one, sometimes it's not as reliable, but also there's usually like a 5 to 7 second delay, which sometimes was cool. Say something happened on his stream and we were on my screen, we could hit the button to go to his scene and it would kind of backtrack and show exactly what had happened, so we didn't really miss anything. But there were times when that 5-second delay was a little bit annoying. One of the other really annoying things about going that route is that with the RTMP pool, because of that 5 to 7 second delay, you had to have a separate software that allowed you to send your webcam out to 2 different places. And what I mean is that if you have any cam without some of the more modern day capture cards, say just a USB webcam, and you try to capture that webcam in 2 different places, it won't let you do it. So we had to get a program, and the one that we used was called Split Cam. If you check that out, you might see some cam girls, but listen, it was our best option. But we had to use this software to be able to send our faces out to 2 different places, so that we could send it to each other, our faces to each other in Discord, so that we can capture it on our scenes, and so that we could capture it in our own scenes in OBS. With what I'm going to show you today, that's not really anything that you're going to have to worry about. We have some better things than we did 2 years ago when I started that channel that are available to us as streamers, and it'll make this process a whole lot easier. I'm kind of excited about it. Now, before we dive into this, let me go ahead and give you a prerequisite to making this whole operation work this way. The person that is remotely streaming into, say, your computer, and then you're pushing that stream out to Twitch, that person is going to have 2 monitors. Okay, it's the only way that it'll work this way and capture the sound. There are some other methods, such as the RTMP pool and that kind of stuff, that can get around that. But again, you're going to be paying monthly, so just buy a monitor. Or there's a way that you can share your cam with an inbuilt feature into OBS Studio and Streamlabs OBS now called virtual camera. The problem with that is that there's no way with that virtual camera to separate your audio and your game sound. So if you're pulling in that person's stream into your stream, when you go to share, when you talk through Discord or however it is that you talk, you're always going to have their game sound in the background, and it doesn't really make it a possibility to make this work. So 2 monitors, you're just going to have it. So what you'll see now is this screen right here with the beautiful pink background is what I'm calling the streamer's PC. Okay, this is going to be the PC that is picking up the other buddy that is streaming into that one. Okay, and then here I have the computer that will be streaming over to the streamer's PC. So this is your friend, whoever they are, wherever they are, streaming into your PC. Okay, I feel like this is also, I don't know where to look, dude. I feel like this is also a pretty good show of the difference between having a USB web camera and having a DSLR webcam. Like, the more that I look at the difference of the webcams, it's pretty amazing. So streamer 1, streamer 2, streamer 1 is in control of the stream for the most part, right? They're the one who is receiving the stream. What we're gonna do is have streamer 2 come in and go to a site called OBS.Ninja. All right. So there are a couple different things that you're gonna wanna do when you're on this screen. Come in here and click this cogwheel that's next to select screen to share. And you're gonna wanna make sure that you select 1080p high def. Now you're gonna wanna come in here to where it says select screen to share. And how we were talking earlier about having to capture your entire screen, you'll notice that when we have entire screen selected, we have the option down here to share our audio. If we go to window, we don't have that option, unfortunately. So you will have to have the 2 monitors so that we can capture the entire screen and share our audio. So as streamer 2, I'm going to select the screen that has OBS Studio up and running on it. We're going to select share audio, and we're going to share our screen. All right, so as streamer 2 here, what you're going to want to do, you've got OBS Studio up and running. You're not streaming anywhere. You're not going to be streaming anywhere from OBS Studio. You just need it set up with the scenes, your webcam if you're using a webcam, and you're going to want the alerts captured on it, as well as the alerts captured on the stream that streamer 1 has. Reason being, we're going to be muting different sources as we switch from one screen to the other, and we're going to want to make sure that whoever screen we're on, we still have alerts and we still have alert sounds. Okay, so once you have that all set up, you're going to want to right click and you're going to want to go to full screen projector, and then you'll select that second monitor. Now I'm going to go ahead and take it off of window capture to do so, because it gets kind of funky if you don't do that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the monitor capture off here real quick. But I am going to go ahead and make this a full screen projector on my second monitor. So you can see from the streamer 1 point of view right now, what I'm doing is capturing. This is so confusing. I know it is. You can see this picture here is just an image of what's going on streamer 2's PC. Okay. So you can see right now that it changed from the view that had all the extra OBS Studio overlay stuff, the UI, and then just made it full screen. All right. So on that streamer 2 PC, which we can see right here, right now, you're going to want to click this clipboard icon right above your video, and it's going to copy to the clipboard a link that you will now share with streamer number 1 that's pulling in your stream, so that he can pull it into his OBS and then stream it out to Twitch or YouTube, wherever. On the OBS.Ninja website, this is where you'll find the documentation, and you'll notice on the sides that it covers a whole lot of different options that you have. So one of the things that I would recommend maybe tweaking yourselves would be the sound and the quality settings. So you'll notice that on my link that I gave to from streamer number 2 to streamer number 1, I added these 2 things at the end, and stereo equals 1, which changes the audio to stereo audio, just a little bit higher quality. and quality equals zero, and quality equals 0, which sets it to 1080p 60 frames per second. And so whenever you first select to share your screen, it'll take you to something like this, you know, where your link is up here at the top. You'll just add this and stereo equals 1 and quality equals 0. It'll bring you to the same thing. It's just going to increase the quality of your stream. Another thing to note is that you have this exact URL right now. It can go many, many more characters. And so what you can do is just type 5 or 6 more of whatever number or letter you want in there, and then send that link to your friend. And as long as there's nobody else using that link, you can bookmark this page, share your page again, and you won't have to constantly change that link back and forth. There we are. Roll with me on how weird it looks. Okay, this will just be for a little bit. What we're going to want to do is come in and we're going to click the plus sign under sources, and we're going to add a browser source. I named my browser source OBS Ninja, dude. And what you're going to want to do now is come in here to where it asks for the URL, and you're going to paste that URL that Streamer 2 just gave to you. Okay, make sure you set your width and height at whatever you're streaming at, 1920 by 1080. And what I like to do is check mark the control audio via OBS. What this will do is it'll allow you to separate the audio that's coming into you from your friend or other streamer. If they're not your friend, I don't know why you'd be streaming with them, but it's a thing that you could possibly do separately from like your desktop audio, your mic, that kind of stuff. So select that as well, and voila, we have Streamer 2 stream holding the Streamer 1 stream. That easy. You'll notice too that the delay is actually really pretty minimal. And whenever we go in and you get into Discord for voice or whatever, you won't have to make any changes because the voice will be pretty much dead on with the voice on your screen. So there's 2 ways that you can do this. You can either have Streamer 2 stream in as his own scene, or you can have Streamer 2 stream into your scene and just add that browser source. Some of the cool things you can do if you have Streamer 2 stream in as the same scene is put it underneath your own scene, right? So that this is all sizable. And through different plugins, you'll be able to have their screen say reveal slowly as you push a button or whatever. So there's a plugin called Move Transition that will actually let us say if we narrowed this down on our scene, we held Alt at the edges of the browser source and drug it into where all it's capturing now is Streamer 2's webcam. If we had this Move Transition plugin, what we can do is have it that on a push of a button, it'll go from this to this and just slowly reveal their scene. If that's something that you're interested in finding out how to do, make sure to leave me a comment and I'll do a video over it so I can show you guys how to do that. So you'll notice that right now the sound that you're getting and the gameplay is coming from Streamer 2's computer. Now, if you wanted to switch back to Streamer 1, what you can do in OBS is set up some hotkeys. And again, you know, I don't know that we need to get that advanced with it. There's lots of videos out there that can show you how to use hotkeys, or if you want me to do one, definitely leave me a comment below. But you can use hotkeys so that whenever you want to switch from Streamer 2 back to Streamer 1's PC, all you have to do is either use the Stream Deck or use some hotkeys, say Control-Shift-1, to get it back to Streamer 1's PC. So the other things to cover here real quick is you're going to want to use Discord or TeamSpeak or whatever voice chat application it is that you use to share your voices back and forth to one another. That way you can control, say, voice audio compared to game audio, that kind of stuff. So earlier when I had you come in here and under the browser source, select, where did it go? Select this control audio via OBS button. You'll notice that in your audio sliders, or in your audio mixer, let me move my cam out of the way here real quick. You'll notice that in that, you now have, let me get it way out of the way. You now have a slider for that browser source. So we can change the game audio or whatever compared to the voice, which will be coming either through your desktop audio, or if you have a Go XLR, it may be coming through chat audio, however you want to do it, but you can kind of mix those volumes how you need to.
Catch me riding dirty.
When you get this all set up, this is probably what your audio is going to sound like until we apply these next steps. So I'm in Discord with streamer number 2, and that's what you're hearing coming through the audio. That's why you got like 3 instances of it. Whether you're on a new scene, hopefully you can even understand what I'm saying. Whether you're on a new scene or whether you're within your own scene, the same scene, and you're having it reveal, whenever we hit that hotkey or we hit that button on Stream Deck, we're going to want to fix this audio issue. So what you're going to want to do, let me move my cam box one more time, is every time you have it reveal your friend's scene or you switch to your friend's source to be full screen, we're going to need to cut off a couple audio sources. Number one, you're going to want to cut off your desktop audio, which should clear this up just a little bit. And number two, you want it to cut off your mic's audio, so that what you're stuck with is the audio that's coming through from your friend. So your voice, everything should be coming through their end on the browser source. So on that browser source, what you're going to get is their game sound and your voice. You won't have their mic. That mic is being captured through Discord. So when you switch to their scene, when you switch to their source, you want to make sure that that hotkey also mutes your desktop audio and mutes your microphone. Now you want the reverse when you go back to yours. So when you go back to yours, you're going to want it to mute their stream and you're going to want it to bring back in your desktop audio and your microphone. I hope that makes sense. So on something like the Stream Deck, this is overly simple. Essentially what you will do is come in here and add a multi-action button, or even better, a multi-action switch, so that we can tell the Stream Deck whether we're switching to that scene or we're hitting that hotkey, we want it to automatically mute those sources. So what you would do is set, just drag over your scene, say that the scene is whatever you want it to be. And now you drag over your mixer audios and you set it to deactivate whatever audio it is that you want it to deactivate. And now when you hit that button, it's going to switch to that scene, or it's going to hit that hotkey that makes your friend's stream come out to full size. And at the same time, it's going to mute those two audio sources. Now, when you hit that button again to go back to your scene, you set up the reverse. So you would set it up for your scene and you would set it to reactivate those two audio sources. That way you're not getting funky double audios or anything like that. I realize that you probably still have questions. I was trying to cover the information fairly quickly so that I don't just drag it out and cover more than I need to, but I am more than happy to help you out. If you still have questions, you can join the Discord, which should be in the link below. Hit me up there. I'll be glad to answer you one-on-one and just see if I can walk you through some of the steps, or hit me up on Twitter. The Twitter link should be in the description below, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have there. They're really, it's once you get it done, it's done and you don't have to mess with it. But the initial setup is a little bit wonky, but the payoff is great. Just to be able to stream with your friend, if that's something that you're looking into, it's just, it's a whole different dynamic. I do want to cover a couple of the negatives from dual streaming real quick. Some of the things that I came across in my 2 years of dual streaming with my buddy. Number one is just that if it's on your scene and your friend wants to turn off their camera, they either have to ask you to do so or have the ability to just like reach up and turn off their camera, because you don't have the ability when it's on somebody else's scene to make those little scene changes. It's super minor, but it's something that was sometimes inconvenient. It also makes technical difficulties a little bit harder to diagnose, whether there's an issue with the internet on your friend's side or different things that are going on, whether it's audio or alerts or whatever. Sometimes it makes technical difficulties a little bit harder to pick up on what exactly is going on, because you have to diagnose two different computers and make sure one is doing exactly what it's supposed to and the other one is doing exactly what it's supposed to. And also it limits your game choices a bit. So we were kind of confined a lot to multiplayer games, which isn't a big deal, but sometimes when something new drops that's single player, not that you can't play it, but you need to have somebody that is cool with, just chilling or, hanging out with chat, or maybe you take turns, or you do something fun where somebody's doing the keyboard and the other person is the mouse. I don't know how you would do that remotely, but if you're at the same place, that's a cool thing. But also you wouldn't need to do this. Scratch that one, honestly. But it does kind of limit your game choices a little bit. Another thing is that you really need to have trust in that person. Luckily I did with my buddy, and you need to have like a set guideline. If you're doing this for more than just fun and you're trying to make like a business of it, you need to set like strict roles, things that each person is in control of. 50-50 if that's how you're going to do your revenue split. Or if somebody isn't able to do as much, then you can set your revenue split accordingly. You know, like, I'm going to be in control of this, and this is 70% of the work, and you're in control of this, and this is 30%. Just go into it with an agreement and make sure that both people are happy. That's not something that I ran into, but it's something that I could see being an issue for a lot of people. If it's too awkward to have that discussion up front, you need to make sure that those are things that are discussed and things that everybody's happy with before you even get rolling. I hope that this at least gave you some kind of guideline to be able to get started with this if that's what you're wanting to do. But again, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Discord, or just leave me a comment and let me know any other questions that you may have. But I feel like this can really get the ball rolling for you. Again, swing by the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Cobras. Link is in the description below. I'd love to see you and say hi. And until next time, later, dudes.